Okay, we're live. Mike, we're live? Okay. Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order. John, roll call. Okay, all those in attendance, Mike? Yes. Sue?
Yes.
Okay, we have a full board. Nick was off on Ohio BWC business today. He had to be gone. So we do have a quorum now. Okay, well, let's go ahead with the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, John, how about you?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor,
Heavenly Father, we again thank you so much for all the many blessings. We thank you for keeping a watch out over our police and fire and road crews. They continue to do their job for us each and every day and meet our needs. We just pray, Lord, for this time of meeting, Lord. We know you told us to use the wisdom you've given us, but with that, to use understanding. So we ask for that today, Lord. Just have your way in this meeting. We ask this in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you. Well, everybody, welcome. We got two special guests today. Yes, we do. So we'll go ahead and have you guys get started. Gail, you want to go first? Go ahead.
I'd be happy to. Should I stand? If I was going to do this, is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone, and I'm really happy to be here with you this morning. I'm Gail Huntley, I'm your state representative. It seems like I was just here running, and yes, I was, because we have to run every 2 years. So I've actually completed my first year in office, and I'm delighted to be in the position. When I was elected, I made some campaign promises on some things that I felt were very important for our community, namely economic development, higher education, working with our drug and opioid addiction and many other things in mental health, which is part of my background. And so I have kept good on those promises, as well as getting out to meet everyone in our community and finding out what their concerns are. To that end, I was very excited to say that I was to travel this coming Friday to Washington, D.C. to meet with Dave Joyce and the EPA, because I have taken the resolution as far as what we can to try and end e-check here for the community. In my research, I have found that it is not our cars that's continuing to add to our toxic load in the environment. It is mostly businesses and other things. And with Portage County sitting where it is, we come up in the problems from Pennsylvania with emissions, as well as over from the Canadian area. But it's not something that we should continue to be penalized with, especially since most of us are driving cars that are newer than 20 years old, with the ability to have the computerized emission checks. So I think that is a burden that not only our community, but our state needs to be rid of at the cost of $11 million a year for a program that's actually doing very little to clean up the environment. And working in Columbus 3 days a week, I will tell you that Portage County does not have near the amounts of pollution that they do, but most of our communities and across the state do not continue to have the e-check program. So I'm working hard with that. Also, we're working, I was recently appointed by the governor to work on the opioid settlement board, which is going to be close to $1 billion that will be put out in settlements to address the opioid crisis within our counties and within our state, to truly get good programming, education, to help fight our problem of addiction. I'm also instrumental in the 988, which is going to be eventually a new mobile unit that will be deployed. Because normally whenever there's a 911 call that comes in, it's the fire, the EMS, the police, are usually dispatched to those calls, which in many cases they are needed. But with the opioid addiction, mental health crisis, and domestic, we're looking to have a separate mobile unit that might be able to go and work with that. But the first thing with 988 is to make sure that no call that comes in goes unanswered, especially with suicide on the continuous uptick due to COVID and many other things. So each and every phone call will be answered, and the local agency that will be helping me with that will obviously be the Coleman Agency. And I've been working very closely with Patty Tracy, the new president there, to make sure that we are fully covered when that 988 begins federally legislated, which will be by July 1st of this year. That bill is not quite through the Senate yet, because I'm still waiting on a cost, because this is almost something that's very difficult to put a cost factor to. So we're still working very closely with that. In addition to that, I know I only have 5 minutes. I'm working on a piece of legislation right now to protect people who are guardians ad litem and also people who work in the CASA, which is Court-Appointed Special Advocacy Program. To that end, I wrote a budget amendments along with our juvenile court judge, Patty Smith, and we have currently now in Portage County a CASA program that is up and running and having our first graduation of training of CASA advocates. We're going to have about 12 of those, and we have hundreds of children right now who do not have a court-appointed special advocate that will be with them during their duration of time in foster care, and this is proven one of the best ways to keep from continuous placements in foster care, to be able to have that person who has agreed to be with them throughout the duration. So that program is now up and running. I have wrote budget amendments for Kent State, many economic development projects in the travel district, to let people know they have a common sense conservative person in the State House representing them, and one that will meet with them at any time. I've held office hours throughout the district to meet with constituents. I've always had an open door policy. For many of you who have called or talked with me about things that are of concern to you in your community. I commend Brimfield for their forward thinking, their leadership, and for their economic development that has really been a trendsetter here for the region, and I commend all of you for the work that you're doing to continue to expand Brimfield and the leadership that is shown here. And so I want to wish you continued success, and in any help that I can be, I'm always here and around to do so. So I hope to have your support again this fall. I will be running. We have to run every 2 years. It seems like you want to continue this campaign, but that is part of the job of your state representative. You are the closest person to people in the district, so therefore, it is a
After the trustees.
it's a continuous. You guys are lucky. At least you have the 4-year terms.
That's terrible.
Yeah, in the district, but we're running every 2. So again, I just thank you all for the work that you do and leadership. I thank the community for their continued support, because it's truly, I'm a non-career politician, but I've always enjoyed the community, and it's been an honor to serve in this position, and look forward to my continued tenure in that position. 5 minutes up.
That's it. Brian, go ahead. Thank
Thanks,
you.
John.
That's all right.
Probably was 6.
I got you right on.
Hey, I'm Brian Ames. I'm running for county auditor. The reason I'm doing that is because I've been seeing too many things going wrong in county. Last thing I saw was they've been putting taxes, recycling fees on townmates' taxes. Now, there's 97 properties over in townmates that lies in Brimfield. Okay, but they put recycling fees on them. Well, that part is really part of the Summit County Solid Waste District, okay? Summit County picks up the recycling. Portage County has never done anything over there, and yet for years, they've put this on, certified this onto their taxes. Now, the auditor is the person who does that. The auditor is supposed to be watching to make sure they don't do things like that. And if the auditor doesn't do that, well then, the people get stuck with things, paying things that they shouldn't do, have to pay. So I'm like, I see that, and I said, there's too much of that going on. The people need somebody there that is actually going to do the job, going to watch this stuff, and say no whenever the taxes are illegal, so that we're not going to find 5 years down the road that, hey, we put these on there and nobody ever knew them about it because the escrow company or the escrow account pays the taxes. They never see the tax bill, and by the time they would find out, it'd be too late to do anything. So that's what I'm doing.
Are they going to try to refund them?
Legally they can't.
One of my waitresses, she lives over there. It's in
Yeah.
Talmadge Hills, right? Yep.
Legally they can't. There's a thing that says that you have to protest before you pay it. Once you pay it, you voluntarily paid it.
So they've basically been ripping people off.
Yep.
Is these 97 residents, is that in the area of Washburn? Years ago,
Off of Washburn.
I'll Washburn back there, Timber Top.
when they had where Brimfield gave Talmadge that little chunk because the state came in with the roads and cut off for the schools and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's been 20 years ago or more.
And I pointed this out to them, and there was a big, we don't want to give that back. We're not going to admit that we did that. And they were ready to do it again. And so, I don't know, they had the resolution out, that had those 97 properties in it for $45 each, you know? And I don't know if they, you know, they won't talk to me.
Yeah, but I just wondered if that's what created that, was when that annexation happened and then the paperwork didn't get processed through.
That was never.
Well, those were built after the annexation, so that, you know, they should have known. I mean, Mogador is the same situation, they sort of it's in Portage Town, and they aren't doing it to Mogador. So why are they doing it to Talmadge, you know?
I mean, if you had that money up, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, oh yeah, yes. That's not the only thing. They got leaf collection fees going on in Franklin Township, where they don't provide leaf collection either. But it goes on and they have a split where, okay, you get $100,000 and we get the rest. I mean.
Well, that's the big thing I've always hated is having the recycle fees put on your taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, they say it's not a tax, but it sure seems like a tax.
Well, you know, I had that in front of the Supreme Court now. They say that they have not, there's a particular statute, RC 343.08, that allows them to certify taxes on, or their fees onto the taxes, but they have to hold public hearings first, okay? So I have a thing in the case in the Supreme Court to get them to hold those public hearings that the law requires them to have. And they said, well, we're not doing this according to 343.08, okay? Honest, trust us, you know? And then I filed the resolutions and each one of them cites that statute. And then I filed a motion for frivolous conduct against Chris Maduri up there for making those false statements. And he files a whole bunch of stuff that also cites that same statute. So, you know, it's like, don't believe your eyes, Dad. Believe what we tell you.
Well, I'm glad you found that stuff. Thank you, Brian. Yep. Good luck, both of you guys.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Sure. Okay. Okay, well, we got the minutes.
Announcement. So you got that announcement.
Oh, the announcements, you're right.
I have an announcement.
Okay, what's your announcement, Sue? And let me guess.
I have an announcement. Ready?
I'm ready.
Mark this on your calendar. May the 7th from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock in Edson Park. And the reason the announcement is coming so early, this gives you an opportunity to collect all the stuff at your house that you want to get rid of, like a hot water tank and a dishwasher and a washing machine, also
May
your
6th?
electronic stuff. And it takes you a little while to get that all together in a big
May
pile.
7th?
May the 7th. Cassie and I have been working on this, and we're going to have a Sioux Fields cleanup day. So there'll be more coming on that. And this is like the third year that we've been working on it, and I'm really pleased to see that we can clean up Brimfield a little bit.
Well,
You
you
just
give
bring
me-
it down to the.
Give me a list of what you can do and I'll do a post on it for Facebook.
Okay, all right, we will.
But you gotta get it to me, cause if not, I'll just be guessing.
Okay, we don't want you to guess. But I'm really excited about that, and I want to see people clean up all that crap they got around the house that they don't know what to do with.
Sioux
Thank you.
Fields
Got my
Cleanup Day.
announcement.
Sioux Fields Cleanup Day.
We're gonna have Green Board IT come this year also, and they do e-waste
Computers.
recycling, so if you have your computers, old cell phones, that kind of stuff, they can take those as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do electronics.
Mhm.
Electronics too, that's good. Get rid of those old computers that you want to bury in your backyard.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, I don't have any correspondence. We're all good. Do you have any correspondence you need?
No.
Okay. Meeting, yes, we've taken care of that. Minutes. I think we've
12/29/21 we need to do. We'll
Did you get
table
a
the
chance
organizational
to read the minutes?
Yeah, I read them all.
Okay, do you want to make a
I
motion?
read them all and signed
The only
them.
one I can't do is the organization.
Well, we're just gonna do the one right now. We'll table the organizational meeting until the next meeting.
Okay, so what date is that?
12/29/21.
Okay, I move that we accept the minutes.
Okay, and I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay, now to the agenda. Is there any,
There was the 2A,
the 2A for accepting inventory?
right?
Anybody else have anything?
I have one item.
Oh.
Need to have a resolution to accept a grant, justice assistance grant from Iowa Criminal Justice Services, OCJS.
So 2B, what's the title of it again?
It's called a justice assistance grant
Just,
from OCJS.
How much is it for?
$3,515.85.
okay, and that's under PD 2B.
Okay, anybody else? We're all good?
I would like to talk about the,
Well, we still got this on the floor, so
oh,
let's,
I'm sorry.
okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we amend the agenda. So for police department, we have 2B, justice assistant grant, and for administration, we got 2B.
2A.
We already have
I have an
two.
addition.
Oh, I see, okay, that's not, okay. For 2A for accepting inventories.
Okay.
I need a second?
Second,
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick, or Sue,
yes.
motion passed.
And I have an addition to the agenda also.
Okay, so what do you got?
I have an addition to the Portage County Visitors Bureau, Central Visitors Bureau. I had a meeting
Where do we want to put that?
Tuesday, admin probably.
Edna?
Just Portage County Central Visitors Bureau.
So that'll be 2B,
Yep.
Visitors Bureau update. Okay, so you made that, you're making that motion?
Yes.
I'll second.
Okay, we'll just redo that again. All those in favor, Mike,
Yes?
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay. Okay, we're good. Okay, purchase orders. Did you?
I move we accept purchase orders.
Down there.
Okay.
Just do it after the meeting.
Hey,
Okay.
John, I'm sorry, I had to step out for a second. Do we need to accept inventory? Does that?
We're
It's
gonna
on
do
the
that.
agenda.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the warrants
Or the POs.
and the POs.
Let's do the POs first here.
Okay,
Okay.
All those in favor, Mike,
yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed. And then the warrants, Mike, are you making that one as
Yes,
well?
I'm making that motion.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed. Thank you.
Okay, now it's time for public comments and questions. You got anything?
Well, I just want to say, thanks to the road department. They've been out hitting it, already. They came from Cuyahoga Falls. But Fairfield's road department does a great job of making sure we're salted up and we can get up and down the hills, and, we all appreciate that.
You probably see Dave out there driving about 3 a.m, don't you?
No, I'm not up at 3.
I shouldn't be up at 3. Dave is up.
Not that.
He doesn't get much sleep
My
during the
dog
day.
up here.
Thank you. Okay. Well, I guess, do we have any safety concerns?
No.
Okay. Now to the police department.
Thanks, Mike. Just one item on the old business as a follow-up to the last board meeting. On ordering a cruiser, we got that order placed. Following that meeting, we placed the order on 1-3, so we are in the pipe to get that vehicle. John, appreciate your help.
Sure.
On helping us expedite that, just with the limited availability of cars this year. It's important to kind of get us at the front of the line, so I appreciate the assistance on that. First item under new business is the replacement levy options for 2022. You should have some documents in front of you that kind of walk through different options we would have as far as the replacement goes. You may recall the November levy was an additional, and I think what we're exploring now for 2022 is going to be replacing our 2006 levy. And it's going to be certainly a lower dollar amount as well. So I have those options in front of you, and if we make a decision today on that, that could be a resolution of necessity, which is just the board authorizing the auditor's office to give valuations, which will then be followed up by a resolution to proceed later on in the month. So this is on the floor for discussion.
Okay, 'cause I reviewed what you had before. I'm gonna make, well, no, we can't make a motion till we know what we decide.
We're just discussing right now, right?
So, I mean, I looked it over. I don't want to micromanage or anything. I was just sort of looking for your guidance because you're the one that spends the dollars and knows where you need to put them. So I'm more concerned about what you want. I mean, you know, what do you feel comfortable with?
Well, I think first of all, I appreciate that. At the end of the day, you guys as the board do sign.
Right,
off,
right,
so
but
it's
you know,
kind
I
of
just,
Right, I get that.
I'm looking for your recommendation.
I think, looking at these three different options we have here, that existing levy was passed in 2006 at 2.7 mils. I'm sure the effective millage is obviously lower now. It's not collecting at its original millage from that point in time. But if you look at these three options, if we, for example, that middle option would be replacing that and increasing it by 0.32 mils, and that would be an increase of $30.55 per 100K valuation. I think the reason we were looking at replacement options is because the additional levy that was a close vote in November would have given us a minimum of 3 new police officers off that. But I think given the result of that, albeit the fact that the vote was close, I think it's prudent now that we explore looking at something where we can still add staffing, but we're not but not to the level we wanted to do before. So now we're thinking, okay, can we add one full-time position as opposed to the 3 to the 4 that the other one would have given? And that's, of course, that's in light of the ongoing growth of Brimfield Township. So if you were to ask my opinion on each one of the options, I think the middle option, if we want to look at trying to be fiscally responsible, it's still giving us the ability to at least add a police officer to the department with the growth that's going on. I think we can achieve it with that middle option.
Okay, now these numbers you got are pretty much sort of estimate. So I mean, going back to my pizza pie thing. So back when we put the levies in, we had eight slices per person. But now that we got so many more residents, now it's all divided up into 16 slices. So once you have this, send this over to the auditor, they're going to give you the actual.
Well, those numbers you have in front of you are accurate. That replacement millage and what it will generate, those are from the auditor's office.
Okay, so that takes into consideration how your percentage of each levy has decreased with the additional homes coming in.
Well, what you're seeing is, what the effective millage is today for that 2006 levy, it was passed as a 2.7.
Right.
What the effective millage is today, I don't know that, but those numbers I'm giving you with the replacement millage amounts and what that will generate, those are accurate numbers. So for
Okay,
example, right now, a resident's paying $75.15 for that levy. That's what they're paying today.
okay, so that reflects the additional.
That's the
what they're
additional
paying today.
house.
Additional house, okay,
It would.
okay.
Do we know,
They
Roy,
would take
what
it
that
out.
number was in 2006? What it started at?
I'd have to go back and see if that's the full idea.
Because I'm sure it wasn't anywhere near that number. I'm sure it was a lot higher than that. So when you look at, and I don't mean to interrupt, I'm
Right.
sorry. I agree with number 2 as well. Number one doesn't do anything to solve any of our needs that we have. I mean, we still need more officers on the street. That's what we need. 3 might be a little bit too much to figure. You might get some negative votes out of that, but 2, because especially I bet you if we figure out what that old number was back in 2006 per $100,000 house, I bet you it's really close to the new number, the 105 of what it was back then. So any new people that are here, yeah, they might be upset, but if I was here for years paying that tax, I agreed back then to make it $100. But over time with everybody growing, it's reduced. Still agreed that it was 100. So I would have no problem putting it back at the number that it was originally. And that's what the replacement will do. So I'm all about 2 as well. I think that's the best option to get it passed.
Well, I think with the ability to, our cruiser fleet each year, obviously we want to try to, the biggest cost would be getting an additional officer and then maintaining our cruiser fleet each year to rotate cars out. I don't want to get in a situation where we can no longer rotate cruisers out because the fleet just takes a beating, the maintenance costs go through the roof. So, the JED M&I has helped us with cruisers. I think if we can continue to get some assistance there, that's helpful as well. But for option number 2, it's currently $75.15. It would go to 105, so it's an increase of $30.55. That's less than half of what went through in November.
Okay.
For the addition.
Well, and number 2 also explains that we're not just going out and ramming all these costs down their throat. We're coming up with alternatives in regards to how to figure out another way to fund it. we're using some of the JED proceeds from those places to help fund the car. We have to have cars. We got to have people out there driving the cars. So I think that looks at number two, also shows how we're trying to sharpen up our funds here to give more money to the levy without going back to the voters. But unfortunately, we don't have boatloads of money sitting around out there, but Brimfield needs more people. That's all it is.
And so you're pretty much considering one additional officer?
Yeah, well, I mean, in an ideal world, given our population projection and growth, we need more than that.
I know.
We are trying to be.
I mean, do you think you
we
might
need
have the money to get another cop if we have,
Yeah, I think
Just
with this, with working with the JED, I think we can put an additional full-timer on.
so we could have two?
No, one.
Which then makes us, one of the other things we were thinking about is we offered one car out of the JED. I have to wait until we do the budget to figure out if there's any way we can help with number two. If we help with number two, then that gives him more money to go out.
Going forward, if we get that help, that helps out on the
Right.
backside.
But I could only commit to one.
I mean, because our biggest need is boots on the ground, right?
Absolutely.
Because that'll help with the overtime, that'll help with everything.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is giving you some money. You asked me what I really truly need, the goal obviously with these things is to build a minimum of a 5-year window, right? That's what we did back in, our
Right.
last study was 2016. We're 6 years out from that.
So how long will this, if this
Well, the
is
goal
number
is to
two?
try to get a minimum of a 5-year window before we need to evaluate anything. So your goal is always a 5-year.
So number two would do that?
Additional projections, yeah, now there's wild cards going forward.
Right.
If our healthcare skyrockets to the roof next year and the year after that, I mean, we make conservative projections for those things, but there's some things we're just not gonna know on that, so I try to estimate on the high end on those types of things. We're trying to project wages, insurance, obviously the bulk of our budget is our personnel. I mean, the vast majority of our budget dollars are tied to our personnel.
Okay. Well,
Are you able to proceed today with one if we vote on it, or are you wanting to wait still for stuff from the auditors?
No, you have, I put together draft resolutions of necessities, for all three of these options.
okay.
I emailed copies to you, I placed those in Dropbox, so you can proceed with that resolution today if you wanted to do that, and that at least puts it into the pipeline.
What's your deadline to get all that over there?
The next step would be, once we get the certification from the auditor's office on the valuation, the next step would be bringing that back to you, and then you have to pass a resolution to proceed. And then February 3rd is the deadline to get that over to the Board of Elections for the
That's
next.
not very much time.
I was
I
just
mean, I'm
gonna say,
ready- I'm ready to proceed.
I would think so.
Yeah, so I'm looking at today's meeting for the
You need
resolution of necessity,
Okay.
your next meeting for the resolution to proceed.
Okay, so I'm gonna make that motion as I'm gonna call it how do you want it worded?
John, do you have a copy of that?
Yeah.
Like it would be a resolution of
It's
necessity.
a replace a current levy is
Okay,
what we're doing.
we're good with
We're replacing the 2.7 mil current levy
okay,
to,
and we will use option 2, which will,
well, I don't even know if we need to put out the numbers out there. We just need to we're putting it out to vote to replace the current
current.
2006
With the
2.7
replacement.
millage rate.
I'll second that for discussion.
Okay.
Chief, I just want to let you
For a
know,
resolution of necessity.
I second, Chief, I just want to let you know that I appreciate the in-depth study and your presentation of all of this, and I also don't micromanage.
That's just the resolution. We have to get this typed up
Okay.
after we vote on it.
Okay, so you're good?
Yeah, good.
So we're gonna put this actual resolution in a minute, so I'm just gonna, so we're at, Roy, there were 3 of them, right?
Yeah, there were 3 options. I gave Mike a first copy of that.
Okay, I got a bunch of them here. I just wanna make sure I was pulling the right one out. So these are garbage. Number 2.
You need my copy?
No, I think that's good.
I just wanna make sure I got the right.
Okay, so I made the motion, Sue second.
I second that.
Hold on one sec, though.
This is,
Okay, yep, that's the one I needed. All right. Okay. All right, yep, we're gonna, all those in favor? Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
yes,
motion passed. So we can get this over after the meeting. Kirsten will work on this to get it all typed up so you have it.
And I may need to take a
Now-
signed copy of that, get that over to Beth at the auditor's
Yep.
office, she can start working on that.
Now, the one thing that, when I talked to Nick, he said,
It's only me that signs it though. It's only me that will sign it. They don't need to sign it.
about the language on the ballot. He always, I think he
Yes.
alluded to that in the meeting, how it was bad.
Yeah, that language is, this boilerplate. They pulled that straight from ORC, and it's 2 paragraphs that basically spells out everything under the sun that the police levy can pay for: personnel, buildings, communications, equipment. It just spells out a litany of things that it will cover. I think the main issue was the heading of that just said Brimfield operational levy.
I
So
wouldn't say
an average
police.
person maybe just looking at that header, that might thought, oh, maybe this is something for the township, as opposed to really looking into the language where it says police. So I think the change that we suggested with that is to make sure that the header says it's strictly for police use only.
So you
It's
can
not-
do that?
Well, I have to talk to the board about that.
Okay, so just as long as you're aware of
I
it.
think the clarification piece is it's strictly for police use only. None of those dollars can be used for anything else.
Right,
Okay.
I heard those comments, that people didn't understand it. So
Okay. Okay.
hopefully we can get that changed.
Well, thanks, Roy. Okay, and then,
The final item was under new business was I need a motion for the board to accept a JAG Justice Assistance Grant from OCGAS in the amount of $3,515.95. That grant can be used for radio purposes.
okay. I'll make a motion that we approve it's called JAG,
Yeah, JAG, Justice Assistance
Justice
Grant.
Grant for the $3,515.
And
The
then,
grant that will come to the township, to the police department for radio needs.
yes.
Second,
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes?
Sue,
yes.
motion passed.
Okay, good. Anything else, Roy? You're good? Thank you. Okay, fire departments.
Okay, mine's mainly updates. Construction right now, it's slow, it's cold, and we anticipated that. What you did see recently, if you drove up there, is you'll see a gravel.
Yeah, what they
Right,
do on
put
that
around
gravel
there.
for?
It was, before it froze, it was just too sloppy. So they brought that in. Yes, they'll have to scrape it out and use it under the new driveway and stuff like that.
That looks
But,
good.
I mean, it allows them to move. And they were just spinning. So you'll see a change on that wasn't supposed to be there. Second thing, I just want to thank Dave for, Tim Fox has been up a couple times to work on some equipment for us. It's nice to have Tim back in the township. He can, he's a good mechanic, a really good mechanic. So having him in the house has been great. We had to, for example, we had to replace headlights on one of our fire engines. The quote was $1,100. I think Tim can do it for like $200.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's saving us money on Dave's downtime.
Wow, that's great.
So, and then I sent you guys yesterday a year-end report. That's just a highlight of where we're at and where we want to be this year. So take a look at that in your emails. Any questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Admin?
Moving into admin, I have nothing on here, but I did, John, this is more for you. I have reached out to the admin staff, and by the 28th, they're to submit their budget request to me, and then we'll meet and sit down after that.
Perfect.
So
Yep. If you want to do that through them and then you and I will decide.
that's what
Okay.
I wanted to do. So I'll collect that. I've asked for rough. Hey, here's 5 things. They approximately would be this. Okay.
Okay.
That's all I'm looking for.
Yep, and then I'm hoping, I just got the budget just got, or the bank rec just got finalized yesterday. So we were waiting for December. So I have all the paperwork. So
Okay.
next week, I'm hoping to start doing all my stuff. So by the beginning of February, Roy, you as well, we'll be setting up times to go through. So if you're ready to, Roy, by the beginning of February to sit down with the budget stuff, we'll be good from
Okay.
there.
And then we'll
Okay.
schedule through you.
All right.
The only other thing I didn't have on here, and I did step out again to talk to Gail real quick. Do we need to cancel, or are we going to go ahead with next week's meeting because we'll all be in Columbus? We just need to discuss that.
Next week's.
Sorry,
The
the
weekend.
next trustee meeting.
Well, we're gonna need a meeting at some point
Yes,
for the,
you're right.
for legislation to proceed on this, on the police levy language, so you may need to call a special if you don't have your regularly scheduled meeting.
I mean, I have no problem. You want, I mean, should we?
Well,
You're
you're not gonna be
Monday
here.
or something?
Yeah.
I don't know when you guys are leaving. I'm not leaving until the afternoon, so I'll be here. But
Yeah, I mean, I'll be here. I'm not leaving bright and early. Do you want to just do it?
So just keep it the same,
Yeah, just do a short meeting
because Roy will need that. He has to.
On Wednesday, we're gonna do it.
The
or
26th.
on Wednesday.
The regular schedule meeting.
I mean,
regular
just make, just make it a short meeting.
I just want discussion to be that we'll be leaving that day.
Okay, let's just keep it the same.
Okay.
Just get it done.
All right, that's all I had.
So
Okay, and then, John, you have 2A.
Yeah, 2A, we back on this, the third during the organizational meeting, we actually accepted agenda or inventories from everybody. So we had all those prior to the date that we needed to get them in
They're all
place.
timestamped.
They are, so we just need to accept them in with a board motion here. We've already met the guidelines, though, they were all turned in. So
Okay, well, I
we're
will
just
make that
accepting.
motion. We
Second,
accept
I'll
all
second
of
it.
Okay. All those,
Good
that's for all
report, too.
agenda, or all inventories.
Okay,
All those in favor, Mike?
yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed, thanks.
Okay, and then Sue, you have 2B, Visitors
And
Bureau.
I attended once a month on the first Tuesday. I meet with the Portage County Central Visitors Bureau, of which the bed tax from the hotels supports that board. It's a county level. And I had my meeting Tuesday, and they have ordered 27,000 flyers. And these will be put in the road stops. And it'll go clear into Pittsburgh, up in Cleveland. It goes as far south as Wheeling and Indiana. So when you're traveling around and you see all this Amish stuff where you pick up one of these and say, I'd like to go there, you're gonna find one from Portage County that people can grab that as they go along. And I think it's a really good marketing tool, and it's a good way that we spend the money that goes to that board to help support it. But I just wanted to let you know, they've done some videos that it's gonna be on the web, and they're very active and things are happening, and we're trying to put heads in beds in Brimfield.
Have they discussed any more about helping us at the Brimfest?
Yes. So, but that's still being chewed around on, so.
Tell them to chew faster. We'd like to get some help. Okay, thanks, Sue. Zoning and economic development.
Okay, thank you. Hickory Hill Subdivision continues on site work. If you've gone past, the road is now in. The lots, so you can see the lots. I know they're blocking the road off mainly, but there's a lot of inquiries on Hickory Hills. Beautiful lots, wooded. It's gonna be a nice subdivision.
What'd you say that the price of those homes are gonna be roughly?
You know, they haven't quoted the price. I would imagine it'll be in the fours.
Wow, so nice.
They're gonna be custom built.
That's
Again,
good.
from Sugar Maple, and then the rest of them, they're gonna sell off to like Pulte or Ryan, but they're gonna keep the standard, and set the standard with the first 5 or 6 as being custom.
Well, that whole area is gonna be beautiful over there.
That's gonna be really nice.
It'll be attractive.
Where is that location at for
It
here?
is actually supposed to be the Sugar Maple's last phase.
Oh, okay.
They made it Hickory Hills, so it looks good though. Brimfield signs, Dave and I are going out, we're gonna be marking trees, they're gonna remove the trees. And then GDI is gonna work on those signs on Route 18 this winter. They'll finish those up. The other 2 signs look good. They're gonna be putting in solar lights.
Is that what it's gonna be?
Are they gonna do that? Or are they just gonna give us a quote?
No, it was included with the price, so they were gonna do the solar lights. Craig tested these solar lights. I guess the electric company came out, they said these are gonna be $60 per sign
Per month.
if we're running the electrical. And Craig's like, well, hold on, and the guy from the electric company says, these commercial solar lights run just as well, and they run really efficiently. You know, you get a lot of light from them. As long as, Craig and I had this conversation, we're like, as long as it works. I mean, we don't want to go
Yeah.
at 2 in the morning and be off. So
Right. Where are the panels gonna go?
he is putting them in. They should go behind the sign.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
I was still thinking we were going to do it first.
Yeah.
Because there was discussion, I thought just to have that discussion, I thought the electric company came in and said $60 a year. You're saying they're saying 60 a month?
month per sign.
I mean, I don't want to pay
Yeah.
60 a month per sign. I thought it was
So how
60
much
a year.
are the solar panels gonna be?
So Craig's got that included. He said they were roughly 400 a sign, but it was included with his cost.
And how long will they last?
That's what I gotta get to. I'll email you.
Well, I think, because I've had solar panel on my barn for years, but it's the batteries that die.
So are we interested in that? I mean,
Man, I
it
tell
was
you,
already in the price.
It's been great. Mine and just my little ragtag system has worked great.
We could always hook it back up to the electric. if
You
they
can
don't
always
work.
hook it back up.
Yeah, we should just try the solar. panels.
And I mean, the batteries are so much better now. Are they lithium or?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, well, let's try them.
Okay. We'll give it a shot on the two signs on 43 and see how it goes, and then if they work, then we'll go on the ones with 18. So,
Okay. I mean, because sometimes we gotta have a discussion about those solar panels on the old fire station.
I know. I don't know what to do with them.
Put them back up.
Well, if you want to have that quick discussion, I thought about maybe bringing them here too.
Oh, anywhere, just so we can use
Are
them.
you gonna get any sun here though with all the trees?
We're gonna cut trees out.
Oh. Can you put them out in the
This
field?
is the Steiner.
So my thought is, I know those solar panels are nice. I didn't really want to drill back into my.
No,
brain.
but I didn't know, are you able to put solar panels out in the field over there and then run a line to the house? I don't know anything about.
Well, it wouldn't generate enough. All it would do is like the offset, like, like you get on your bill. Would you say it's $20 a month
It's
or
not very
something?
much.
I thought it was, actually, I looked into it. I thought it was almost $100 a month
That's pretty
That we were
good.
getting an offset?
off the ones off the fire stations.
On your bill?
So add
I'll have to
that.
double check that. I don't think.
So it wasn't bad for a free grant. It was a grant.
Yeah, how long did we have those?
We've had those since we put the sign up, so that was
I just don't want to.
10?
10, at least 10.
Well, could have been 8. 2008 is probably when we got those.
So my second thought is I have a flat roof area that you won't be able to see above the admin. They may be able to put them on a bracket on there
Okay.
and reuse them.
Well, we don't want to just throw them away. They still
So
work.
that's
of course.
$47,400 we've made over those.
Oh.
That's crazy to throw them away. We gotta use them.
I don't want to throw them away. I just don't know what.
Yeah, let's do something with them. Okay.
Moving on, you also have the 2021 year-end report from Economic Development and Zoning. There's 72 pages, but it's not that bad of a read. There's a table of contents, we have positions and staff, the members of the boards, Kent Jed and the numbers from the Jeds, my meeting schedule, the professional membership and training schedule, department financials, Jed financials, current year goals as well as previous year's goals that were met. The zoning district map from 2021, the zoning fees tip report, our roadway 629 grant that my department received for DHOF is in there, as well as current economic development, zoning projects, what we're working on, what we're doing on those, the land use and the zoning percentages of the land. Newspaper recognition articles from the Akron Beacon Journal, as well as Record Courier, 2021 permit fee reports, and then the 2021 housing violations are at the end.
My God, how many months did this take?
That didn't take us that long. We tracked this, I mean, it probably took her a little over a week to combine everything, but we track all this on a daily basis. So everything you see here is what we do throughout the year. This is just the year end.
Well, I look forward to reading this one, and I don't look forward to reading any of them.
Well, basically everything we did last year is in there. So one way or another, everything's in there.
You even got shiny paper.
Yes.
Holy moly. Well, thanks.
So, yeah, it was a record year, so it's a little bit thicker. But, you know,
That's sweet. The sign's awesome.
Pretty impressive.
I just want to throw a comment out there. Mike doesn't need credit because he does stuff, but Lauren's been doing, I mean,
Lauren did a wonderful job.
yeah, she's
on that.
awesome at that. So
she's
she's a good employee
did.
for us.
absolutely.
Very, very professional.
Next time my wife starts talking to me, I'm gonna read this.
Right.
No, that doesn't happen.
Or tell her to read it.
She's a lovely person.
That's all I have.
As long as it's not during Yellowstone.
Yes.
We're sort of addicted to that right now.
I still haven't watched it
Oh my gosh, you gotta watch it. It's great. I'm ripping my house down, building another one. Okay. Well, thanks, Mike. Anything else? So you got anything from Mike?
No.
Hey, anything on that wonderful house next to Walter Care?
Yes, I'm sorry. I should have said that when you asked me. So I did get an email from Mark last night. I'll read it off to you. So he says, you can advise the petitions for Doherty and Talmadge will file with Portage County Court of Common Pleas, and I will send an update later to the letter to the trustees once the hearing is set, which I anticipate the court will require to rule on the petitions to vacate. As mentioned, these petitions are unusual and a creative way to try to get the demolitions accomplished while attempting to minimize liability for the township. I will likely request a status conference with the judge's judicial assistant to get a read on whether the court will allow us to proceed in this manner, since it's not really a mechanism recognized explicitly in the civil rules. Any questions, feel free to call him. So he's going to send us a report as soon as the court the date gets set.
I mean, yeah, because that car doesn't even move.
Right.
Is that licensed?
As far as I know, it is. Yeah.
And Talmadge Road just continues to run their business.
I don't ever see lights on in the house at night, so I don't know. If
No, there's nobody in there. I believe that the person that was in there when we did the search warrants is now out because I don't see any.
Are you saying the door?
The one on Talmadge. Because when we came in there, it was abandoned and then there was somebody squatting.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about the landscape business.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the still same one? Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if they even have power anymore.
I don't think so. But as soon as we get something set up,
What a
Mark will
shame.
give us.
Dora Lee has been vacant for 10 to 15 years.
Longer than that.
Yeah, maybe longer.
And then that one house that was that on Howe or whatever one it is, or over there with that brick one, they've really gone to town on that, new roof, everything on it.
Yeah,
So-
that one really worked. And we had the last two down. We knocked those down, and then the ones that I said something about, like the Zubis, he took his house down now, so.
Yeah, that looks good too.
Yeah.
Things are looking good. Good job, Mike. Okay, road department.
Oh, yeah, I just want to let everybody know how road's open again now. There is some more work that needs to be done, but it's going to wait till the springtime. The asphalt, the final phases of it. Just want to let you know we got 200 ton of salt in. Probably piggyback another order this week for another 200 ton. Just want to make sure we stay up on it.
Spring's almost here, Dave.
Yeah, 68 days. I'm waiting before I can get some sleep. We've salted the road a few times. I mean, actually, we were in pretty good shape on Saturday when we had that freezing rain pockets come in. With the salt we had down from Friday, snow in the morning, our road stayed open. We didn't have much issues with them. I mean, I was out driving around on that too, having some fun. It was a date night. Like Craig said, we're tinkering some things at the fire department, trying to help them out with Tim. We're still waiting for some stuff to come in before he can finish that up. So far this year, I mean, I hate to say this, we've already had 4 funerals. Actually, we've had 6. We had a couple more since I made my report. I got the snow parking ban signs in. They're at the shop. They're the same size as no parking signs. They're 18 by 12.
That's good.
So I don't know when we can proceed to put them up. You know, I think I got to wait another week or so because we have to do whatever.
Yep.
So they got them in quicker than I was thinking. You know, I had to order 40 of them. So what we're going to do, what we're figuring on them is we will remove a no parking sign at the beginning of the allotments and the entrances.
Oh.
Just take the no parking sign on, put this parking ban on, because most of the allotments that we do have parking signs, they're scattered through the allotment. So
You're gonna take off a sign?
we're going to take a no parking sign down where you first pull in the entrance of an allotment and put.
Don't we need that up?
No, because if we have them throughout the allotment,
Okay.
because most of them are like
I see what you're saying.
Like Sanctuary View, we have a no parking sign right by 43. To let people know this side you can't park. We'll just remove that one. As you go into the allotment, you see another 20 signs through there say no parking this side.
Okay.
I mean, now if the allotment is quote unquote just marked at the beginning with a no parking sign, we will have to put up another post with the parking ban.
Well, because I mean, for the whole township as a whole, aren't we going to move forward with just having parking on one side of all the streets?
Well, I think to do that, we'll have to go through each one individually, because we're talking with Mike Collins, you'd have to make resolutions per per allotment. let's
just
say.
walking down some of those subdivisions or driving through with my election brochures, I mean, it's tough. I don't know how you do it. We need to start just having things standard. You shouldn't have one allotment up where you can only park one side and then another one where it's just a Wild West show.
Well,
I
that's,
think maybe, sometime this year, start bringing them to us. and let's
right,
get it
that,
done.
well, that's, I mean, from the growth of the township from before, that kind of should have been put in the plan, you know what I mean, when they were building the allotments.
So Mike, is that something you can do as we go forward? As these new subdivisions require parking on one side of the road?
Yeah.
We gotta make it easier on fire.
We can
Fire
require,
roads.
we could present to the zoning commission and have additional parking spots required.
Are we too late for some of these new
Some of
subs?
them is gonna be too late, now, but anything in the future we could actually put it in the code. I'll have zoning commission adopt a resolution, put it in the code, that way it's enforceable.
Okay, so you'll do that?
Yeah, and then it'll eventually come back to you guys for final vote, but I can do that.
Okay, well, thanks.
Yeah, because we try to put no parkings on different developments where the fire hydrants are.
Okay, well, you need to, every meeting bring us one.
Uh-huh.
Every meeting bring us one. Let's get it done.
All right, no, I can start working on that too right now, so.
Thanks, Dave.
And then one more item, we've gotten all the Christmas lights down and, we've stored them in the old carriage house at the cemetery. We actually put up a shelving unit and stuff to keep them, some of the stuff up, and they're in totes and stuff. This way mice don't get to them, chew up the wiring and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So it's not too bad. I mean, if you want to take a gander, I mean, we stored it the best we could. I mean, that's with the space we had, so. And there was a few items we had to get rid of that was broke. That was just all there was to it. So and that concludes my report.
It should be nice some year once you move that thing across to the Kelso house, along with the story about everything about it.
Oh, carriage house.
And Dave did start the Estes Road. He met with Dave Smith, and you're on the same page, right?
Yes, well, actually, my crews, when I get done with this mess, I'm sorry, in the meeting, but we're gonna go down there, we're gonna dig a test hole on a section today.
Cool.
Since it's a little bit warmer, instead of trying to go out there and do that when it's 15 degrees, I don't wanna put a machine in the works on that.
No,
So,
thanks for keeping your word, and getting it going.
yeah, we gotta figure out what size pipes are running through there, that's the whole problem right now.
Okay, well, you're gonna see if it's 6 or 8? Or what
Well, yeah, he mentioned that he thinks it's an 8-inch, and the pipe we found in the woods where it drains into the creek was an 8-inch. Can't guarantee it's the same pipe, because it's like 2,000 feet away from where we started, and plus on it, my maps of everything I got on this, it only shows to this property, and it doesn't show the continuation through the next one, so everything was built in 63, so it's just pretty much guessing. So, at one point they say it's 15-inch concrete pipe running through there, well, it's all 12-inch thick. So, and he's thinking it's only 8 going through the property, so quote unquote, in the long run, if we find it's 8-inch, we will put a minimum 12-inch back. We won't go small, you can't tie 12 to an 8 and hope it works, so we'll put the same size pipe at the minimum in, so.
Okay, well,
Problem is, it's gonna be about 2,500 feet.
Okay. Well, thanks for checking into it, Dave.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have anything for Dave? No. Okay. Cassie?
All right. So I'm working on taking submissions for the NOPEC Community Sponsorship Award grant this year. Just a reminder, that's a grant that's given to one nonprofit agency within the township every year for $1,500 for a one-time community event. This year, NOPEC is offering an additional $1,500. They're going to select 5 communities that participate in NOPEC and grant them an additional $1,500 for their event. So there's a potential for $3,000 for this nonprofit for their event.
Have you got any submissions?
I have not. I'm taking them till the end of the month, so usually they get them,
Okay.
right before then.
Okay.
I actually reached out to some nonprofits directly too to send the information out there. So all that information is on our website, or you can contact me directly if anybody's listening out there and you need more information. Brimfest, hard at work, working on the schedule for that. Bands are booked. Food trucks are pretty much booked. I'm sending out contracts now. We're working on, my next project is gonna be working on staging, where everything's gonna go. I'm getting quotes for the larger rides and things like that. I got a quote for a rock wall, game trailer, getting a quote for the axe trailer, axe throwing trailer, that kind of things. I'm looking into petting zoos and the smaller entertainment. I'm gonna have my budget in by the end of this month. Hopefully I'll have a pretty good idea of what I'm looking at for that by then.
That's great.
I would like to put it out there. I'd like to have a Brimfest meeting here maybe in the next month and a half, just so we can all touch base on that. That would be good.
Okay.
And then I'm also working on goal setting. Aaron and I both are working on goal setting for the department. One goal I wanted to present to the board was Cranberry Creek Park. That's going to be my main goal for this year. So kind of the goals within the goal. The overarching goal is to bring more visitation to the park. It's actually our largest park. It's about 35 acres. It's a very large property that goes all the way back to Brimfield Ditch. Very beautiful back there, lots of great wildlife. So in order to get more people there, our goals are to have at least 10 programs there. We actually have 2 programs there this month alone. We'd like to get that electric installed at the pavilion. That is a work in progress. I'm going back and forth with First Energy, trying to get that figured out. We'd like to have signage put up. We'd like to improve the sledding hill with some benches. I had a Boy Scout approach me about a possible fire pit project that might be coming down the pipe. I suggested the top of the sledding hill for that would be very nice. And then trails is the big thing. We'd like to put in permanent trails with a trailhead and trail markers like we have here.
Yeah, and I talked to Dave a little bit about that. So whenever we're gonna do our walkabout,
Yep.
we just have to be careful,
Yeah.
you know. But like, you know, I mentioned to Dave about that machine Justin was driving, you know, just to make it, you know, because I mean, once they get busy, they get busy.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you're off on leave, if, you know, we know where the trail is, that Dave, if he has some downtime, can get over there. I mean, we're just doing a basic trail this first time.
Yeah.
So then, just so they can get through there. I mean, I looked at your map and that one idea, I don't know if I heard someone mention it, but you know, the subdivision up there, Cranberry Creek or whatever, it would be great if we could have a trail, if we could. I mean, does our property go up to their property?
We go basically right up to the ditch. I'll have to see if that's their property that we bought.
It'd be neat to find out. 'Cause
I believe
mean,
we do.
What an asset with so many residents over there, they could actually just walk through and walk to the park.
Yeah, I heard that was the original plan, but there was an issue with the wetland back there. I think it's like a category 3 wetland that's difficult to.
I just wonder if we could find a grant like they do down in the Cuyahoga Valley where you have that raised trail.
Yeah,
Go across it.
and I truly believe there's always a way that you can
I know.
Those
Those pictures you showed me were beautiful.
Yeah, and what's nice is there's kind of already an established trail back there thanks to the ATVs. But for the most part, it's pretty mapped out. There's just the property's kind of triangular shaped, and the tip of the triangle where the power line easement is a little bit, we could potentially get more trail going up there. And I showed you the map that I made.
Right.
We can get at least a mile loop trail through there, I believe.
Dave had a good suggestion that maybe we should contact a surveyor to know the back part of our property lines.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Sure.
Yeah.
So is that something
Which
you want
stakes
Dave
up
to look
somebody.
into, possibly finding someone to do it,
Yeah, we can work on it.
or do you want to call somebody? Or?
Yeah, I can.
Dave,
I think
Dave,
we're-
if you talk to Kirsten, Dempsey Surveying is what's done recent work for us, and they're already on our books. So that would be an easy.
That's
That
it.
Yep.
would be a
Yep.
easy phone call. Talk to Kirsten.
Do you
Yeah.
want, Cassie, you want to reach out?
Sure.
I mean, we should probably do it sooner than later, 'cause, I mean, when does the grass grow?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
March.
55
Oh,
degrees.
no, it doesn't start till August.
Anyway, I just want to.
When it hits 55 degrees ground temperature.
Right, okay,
Ground.
well, that's just a thought, so we can keep moving forward.
Yeah, it's a good thought.
And I'm glad you're developing that park, man, that's just,
It's been on my list for a long time.
you know, it'd be neat if you could find one of those old, you know how Virginia Kendall, they have that big
big water thing where they just throw wood in there and they
Yeah.
burn it. Yeah, that is cool. I mean, I remember sitting around that thing when I was a kid.
Well, they have one at Goodyear Heights too, at the top of the sled riding hill.
If we could find
They have
those.
that big giant,
Don't wonder-
Dave could take all of his scrap wood down there.
Dave, you ever seen one of those big tanks?
No, I mean,
If you went up to the top of the sled riding hill at Goodyear Heights. at the
so
Goodyear
we didn't
Park,
have, we
they're all-
always had our big hill,
Oh,
Mammoth Hill on the farm. So we didn't ever go really.
They
over
have a
that.
big, huge fire thing up there.
You can only have so big,
You
not
can-
my rule, Ohio's rule.
25 by 25.
How big
Unless
do
we have
go?
hot dogs, right?
Basically 3x3.
Okay.
I mean, but you can make a nice surrounding, you can
That'd be
stack
cool.
it, it'd be big enough.
Okay.
Yep, that's,
Okay, thanks, Cassie. Let us know when you want that Brimfest meeting.
Cassie,
Even if it would be easier to do it right after a trustee meeting for those who want to stay or something.
what's the date we have set for Brimfest again? Can you confirm that for me?
it is Friday, September 16th and Saturday, September 17th.
Thanks.
Good, I'm glad you are advanced. Okay, thanks, Cassie. Cemetery. So I know you have
Cemetery, old business, oh,
new
all
business.
right, the old business. The columbarium has been delivered, Monday, January the 10th. We've waited on this happening for over 15 years. So I'm really excited about that, to see something really happen and to see if there are a bunch ought to drive by and take a look at it.
Do we
There
have-
are, it's shaped like a stop sign, and there are 72, they call them niches. There's 72 doors that when you're cremated, you can go in this little box and it's sealed so that nobody can get in to it. But on the door, and it's included in the purchase price, on the door of this is where your name and the date you were born and the date you died, that will be on that door. So anybody coming can say hello to you. And I'm just really pleased though that we've been able to do that, and I think it's a really good addition to our cemetery.
Do we have any residents interested?
I have one. She's already paid for everything. She's all ready for it, but she's still here.
So what's our cost gonna be?
It's, for residents, it's $800.
It's gonna
And that's
fill up
it.
fast.
Is it?
Cause
It's
it's cheaper.
$800. And what happens? No, you just don't walk out and dump them on the ground.
It's cheaper
Put
than
me in the lake.
burying them.
But that includes all the maintenance forever. I mean-
They'll go there.
So I'm really excited, and we're gonna be having some videos to put on the website to let everybody know. And what I would really like to do is Memorial Day this year. I would really like to highlight that columbarium.
Okay.
The weather's bad right now, nobody wants to be there. So I'll work with Rochelle on that. We'll come up with a nice Memorial Day kickoff for it.
When they set it, they set it on dry ice blocks.
Yeah, that
Pull
really
the straps
surprised me.
out and then the ice melts and it sits down on the ground.
And that big old crane,
I
that
thought that
big
was
old
pretty
crane just
slick.
picked it
Oh, is that how
up
they got it?
Yeah,
and set it
That
down
was
on
the
the
only
ground.
way you could do
it was
it.
pretty
With the
slick.
ice
Why did they put it on dry ice? Why don't they just put
That's
it
the
on
first
the
time I've
thing?
seen something.
So dry ice has a high crush factor. So the guy would chip it off with his hammer and fall right apart, but the crush won't crush. So they pulled their straps out from underneath and then it melted, sat right on the ground. It's pretty slick.
It was neat.
Do you
And I
wanna
got
do-
really cold standing there.
Yeah.
Did you want to do an advertisement video or something, or?
Yeah, we can.
I'm gonna take some videos or some pictures of it. And we'll get it.
Yeah,
You can do
we'll
your,
have Craig go ahead and.
Craig ought to do a drone video.
That's what I'm gonna do.
He
I'm
can do a
gonna
drone
take that
video
over
and
and
put
get
it
some
on.
shots of it and then we'll do something with it.
Okay, good,
I still gotta do something with mine too, so.
okay. Anything else, cemetery?
No.
Hey, I just thought of something about Park and Rec. I did mention to Craig and Cassie, we have a guy from Rootstown, his name's Matt. He has a goose dog, and he has offered to do it at no cost to the township for the beginning. So you might see a guy with a dog walking around there, because February is when they start nesting, and he's gonna keep them moving. But he's found it to be very successful. And, I did some research, and I mean, spraying the grass is a good thing until it rains.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and you, what was it, $800 or $500?
$500 an
I
application.
mean, we're taking a chance that it's not gonna rain in a while.
I just don't believe it works.
Well,
Sorry.
There's two, there's actually 3 ways.
Just,
Shotgun. The
Yeah.
second way, the main part is dogs, that gets the most results, or remote control boats. So if we wanna pay someone from somewhere to sit there with a remote control boat, I mean, I guess I'm gonna buy myself a fleet for my area, because what better way? Have a nice cup of coffee in your remote control boat and
Chase all the
chase the geese. So I just want everyone to know, if you see a guy with a dog,
I think we should
Don't
definitely
kill the
try.
hey, we have nothing to lose.
I'm sorry, I'm cheap. I cringe at that guy that came out and sprayed. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. The $500 an application.
Yeah, but then it rains the next day.
Yeah, he had a lawnmower and a sprayer and went around and just sprayed. I'm like, man, I need that job.
Hell, we can buy
You
it.
guys have never used a dog?
Ah,
Akron wastewater treatment plant down in Bozeman, they have all kinds of geese problems. And they hired a guy that actually has, dogs and he has, boats to hit the big sediment ponds.
Yeah.
And he got rid of their geese in a year.
well, that's
Once you run a 1-year cycle on them, they're not used to nesting there, they're gone. They don't come back.
Yeah, and the thing, what he told me is, his dog actually goes after him. I mean, he can't catch him, but he swims.
Yeah.
So, and that's enough to get.
well,
him.
we'll have to be careful because that's the association's league.
Yeah, but oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's theirs, so we can keep them off ours, but
right. Okay,
you,
he's gonna just look for the nesting.
I think the people I spoke to back there, there's a majority that wants them gone, but there's one lady that lives right there that.
Well,
loves
whatever
them.
we're doing, it's not gonna be it won't harm the geese.
Tom Siciliano, I should turn this off. He's got a flamethrower and he just hits them with those over by me. And they go away.
Yeah,
It's pretty-
I don't think we wanna do that, but
It's cool. You gotta get one.
I'd like to get one for my driveway.
Right, yeah, it's pretty slick.
Okay, that was just an FYI, I wanted to let you know. Okay, John, do you have any fiscal?
I do not.
And we have no executive session.
Awesome.
Wow, is there anything else for the good of the township?
Nope.
Is this a quick meeting, because Nick's not here?
It's quick.
Nick, are you watching this?
He's not. He shouldn't be. It's on state time.
I know. Okay, well, if there's no more, I'm gonna make a motion that we end this meeting.
Oh, I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
We are out at 9:07. Rochelle, can you shut down the camera? Thank you.
Well, that's great.